Yeah, I'm interested to see how picks and bans are going to change here in this next match. Because, I mean, it wasn't a bad draft from Elevate. I like the Anubis pick. I'm not in love with the Euler selection, actually, to be honest with you. I kind of forgot about it. Not because it was bad. You remember bad choices. He just didn't do anything.
He just couldn't do anything, realistically. And I think that that's probably the bigger impact in the game. Not only was Checo shut down, Euler unable to get anything online, oBoronic just forced to play defense the entirety of the game. You want to see Anubis getting in there, trying to toss out his wrap all cooldown, land his AoE damage, and, you know, just spray, spit on people. It just, none of it was able to come through.
Yeah, that was a big point. You know, I said he hadn't died, and I kind of like tipped my hat to him, and you immediately followed up with, you're not doing anything. And if you're an Anubis, that's all you do is bring damage. You can't say, oh, I'm Giannis, I'm not doing anything, but I save teammates with a portal, right? Anubis is just sitting there like, I guess I killed a jungle buff. So the big do-nothing combination of the mid and jungle last game is what hurt Elevate, which is interesting, because usually it's negatives that hurt you. This is just a plain neutral. You have to do something to win the game. Odin Susano banned out by SoaR Gaming. Robin and Zeus banned out by Elevate. Will we see the Cernunnos for Michael Checo is the question.
And that's one of those picks where, I mentioned it earlier, it's not necessarily a first pick win-all material, but it's certainly a pick that Elevate are more than happy to make. You can't really go wrong with it. That's the thing.
And especially when you noted star player Michael Checo, right? He's the guy that's going to be doing a lot of the carrying for Elevate. Give him the tools to succeed. Cernunnos absolutely one of those tools. SoaR on the other side, you're going to pick the very aggressive Fafnir. Last game, we had two Guardians that kind of sit on the backside. Geb tosses a shield and kind of just knocks people up, and then you see some nonsense out of Khepri trying to res people. Fafnir is going to be in the thick of it.
I really like the Chang'e to pair alongside of this Fafnir, because not only does Fafnir have a ton of setup potential for the Chang'e, he's also just got that insane peel, and you want to have your Chang'e being able to play as aggro as possible. Should this opt to be the jungle pick, this could very well be in the mid lane, but I would probably favor it towards jungle here.
And Elevate, however, going to go ahead and pick the counter to the Chang'e, the Serqet. She's able to shut down healing, and honestly, just a strong pick in general. A lot of burst coming out from this god, so, and some CC as well. The Cobra's Kiss, you always think that it always seems like a really slight CC, but then in practice, you feel like you're madness forever.
And again, the Bellona for SoaR Gaming, I'd imagine that's going to be going the way of StormyRays yet again, especially with the Osiris being on the board for Elevate. And I think that these are a very standard solo lane matchup. Not a lot's going to be happening, but I feel as though Bellona has a little bit more flavor alongside of the Chang'e and Fafnir when it comes to team setup than what I would favor for the Osiris, Serqet, and Kern. You've got the damage on the side of Elevate. I like to see a little bit more CC from them so they can make sure that their damage is actually going somewhere.
I like both of these second round bans. Terra is just kind of, all right, you banned out Terra, but Vulcan specifically looking at the mid lane Boronic and Medusa and Ho Yi. Elevate said, look, everybody was looking at Kaeydan, but Zachsy really hurt us. He was #1 in the player damage, absolutely made made two really big plays that perhaps changed the game. I think Kaeydan brought it home here with the big crits, but those two big petrifies really ran things from Zachsy.
And a little bit of risky business here for Elevate, opting for the Habwa last pick. That could very well make or break how this draft is going to play out for Elevate. Like I mentioned, they've got a ton of damage. The burst is there, but whether or not they're actually going to be able to let their damage run freely is a completely different question, because the CC from SoaR, that's some solid CC.
It is, but the biggest difference is the fact that there is no Mercury. Mercury is able to really obliterate characters like Anubis, and Habwa kind of similar to Anubis in the way that he doesn't have the ability to really just get out of jail, unless of course he uses ultimate. We'll get right into it. And Boronic, one of the stronger Habwa players, not just in the console league, but just in Smite in general. I really like the selection for him. Decent amount of setup thanks to DoctorL and Kenshin. And of course, Kenshin going to be able to help him out as well thanks to that ultimate. The big problem for him is going to be not Kaeydan this time around, honestly. I think it's going to be more KeegsMate.
And Keegs on this Neith, I love that it's Neith in the mid lane as opposed to Zachsy being on the Neith, just because Zachsy's an aggressive hunter. You never want to see the aggro hunter playing a passive ADC.
There's that girdle trick that you were talking about. Last time, basically, you pick up the girdle so that you use it at level 1, and if you lose push, you're able to really make up for that. Last game, we saw Elevate use it after they were already pushed on the tower. You got to use it preemptively before you get out-pushed.
No, I really appreciate that drop of the relic. It's a fairly standard play for Medieval to make, and
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be working out. I mean, they're able to secure these left-hand harpies for themselves, and I know that SoaR are looking to just play a little bit more passively, and then right around level 5, I'd imagine, is when things are really going to start kicking off.
On the other side, we see the horrific emblem coming out from the Khepri. That has a lot to do with the double hunter composition, but also that will hurt the coerce out of MedievalDoc.
I think it could hurt it a little bit, but not enough early on to make a significant impact. Like I said, a lot of this is just going to fall onto whether or not Elevate have the lockdown potential to get their damage off.
I like the start coming out from Oboronic. Right away understanding he's just looking for damage. Bancroft level 2 is going to give him about 60 power and about 12% medical lifesteal, so he's going to have the sustain that some of the other starters might give him by themselves. And a nice stop coming out from Kenshin, splitting those oracles down the middle. Ain't nobody getting vision today.
That's awesome for Elevate as well, because I'd imagine SoaR are probably going to try and play a little bit aggressive early on. While their draft might not necessarily seem like the most aggro thing in the world, you give that vision to a Neith or even Kaeydan on this Chang'e. Kaeydan just wants to go in. He just wants to brawl. We saw that last game. So don't permit him to have the free board vision.
Yeah, he's actually going to start brawling here in the short lane. Able to walk away from Delnyy and heal up Stormy. What a powerful pick Chang'e still is. How about going to walk into base and buy the Sands of Time, actually. That's a starter item, but at the end of the day, 10% CDR for 800 gold. Who's going to say no?
I wouldn't even consider the Serqet pick to be a hard counter to the Chang'e just because of the immunity that she has on her second ability. It's such a strong immunity, and even if he were to get off the taunt and Kaeydan doesn't immune it, it's still going to be incredibly difficult for him to just lock down the god in general. And I just feel like I keep coming back to that. It's just the execution versus, I guess, preparedness of SoaR.
So you think SoaR brought the same thing like game number 1, where it's just they don't have a bad composition, it's just really hard to pilot.
It's probably a little bit more difficult for Elevate just because they have to be so wary all the time of where the hub was, especially for Kenshin.
I meant Elevate.
Yeah.
I meant Elevate. But yeah, no, when it comes down to it, Oboronic, and he does this all the time. But we'll address that in a moment. DoctorL to visit his patient on the right-hand side. There's the dash from Stormy. Nice Cobra's Kiss and the zigzag. The ultimate will confirm it. A basic will absolutely confirm it. But will the dot be enough? I'm not sure. I think he needs one more shot. DoctorL realizes that, and he'll have to go back. Delnyy might look for the dive. DoctorL might look for the wrap. We're going to get neither, and Stormy goes back to base.
I don't think Delnyy wanted to risk the little bit of mana that he had on a dive, especially look at how fast Stormy's regenning from those pots.
Yeah,
it's
it was
insane.
Yeah, it was. I thought if we saw DoctorL come from into the cove of the blue buff, jump over the wall and look for something extra,
definitely,
we might have seen it. But I respect the decision to play it safe. You're 4 minutes in. The tower's gonna chunk you. Just play it safe. You'll get him next time.
The only downside, though, is that I would probably favor a Serqet ultimate being burned than what I would a Bellona ultimate. Or, excuse me, I would favor the Bellona ultimate being burned as opposed to the Serqet, because DoctorL is just trying to snowball. I like the gank mentality there to go for the Bellona. It's just really unfortunate for him that Stormy was close enough to his tower to not necessarily get punished.
Yeah, it was a big play. I was mentioning this guy right here before we saw the right side. Oboronic in the mid lane on the Habwa. Now, when it comes to Habwa, he's notoriously just like difficult to play, really easy to kill. Some people call him the worst god in the game. But he's got 4 abilities that are really strong. And that allows Oboronic to just make really big use of the character. DoctorL gets his beads chased out thanks to KeegsMate. Nice play from mid.
That is... It's not fun for Kaeydan to lose his speed buff as the Chang'e, but it's even less fun for DoctorL because as a Serqet, you want to be the aggressive pilot here for your team. You want to jump in, try and set up Oboronic on this Habwa for the burst damage, toss him in with your Cobra's Kiss, but it's going to be difficult for him to try and go in when he doesn't have his beads available. The CC on the side of SoaR is trying to deal with it. I don't see how his positioning is going to be able to compensate for that if he looks to go aggro.
Yeah, he's got to play it safe at least for the next 118 seconds. Has to cool down on the beads. But here, This isn't that hard. Jumps right in, hits one of the Cobra's Kiss to zigzag. He's gonna chase this one. Look at that first blood right here. Delnyy takes it off the assist of DoctorL out of the jungle. Medieval gonna wrap around and say hi, but DoctorL able to zigzag away, find safety under the tower. Delnyy 1v3, not even gonna take the fight. Neither will SoaR. They'll back off. First blood goes the way of Elevate, leading by 700.
Early game isn't necessarily the strong suit for SoaR Gaming here. While these players themselves, individually, they all like to play aggressive, their draft right now isn't the primary one that you're looking for as far as the execution standards is concerned. But it's not stopping Medieval from trying to go in against the Habwa.
And here's the ultimate. Look at the damage coming out from oBoronic. He's going to be saved by Kenshin thanks to that ultimate on the Khepri, but coming around the backside is going to be the jungle. Kaeydan finds a kill off of the ultimate and the one. And the comeback damage not able to be found, despite the fact that DoctorL was deep and ready to go for it. SoaR answer back right away. And DoctorL just lurking in the jungle.
DoctorL was thinking about it. If his 3 hadn't been on cooldown,
Yep.
he would have certainly looked for that, I think.
Yeah, he was absolutely waiting for the ambush, but unfortunately for him, cooldown is not available. StormyRays going to get controlled here and gets hit by the Deathbane. The slow out of Delnyy going to miss, and that's that.
Man, Stormy's got to be panicking in this solo lane. He's just trying to be Bellona, do Bellona things, but not getting away with it in the slightest. Delnyy is just getting to free farm so heavily because of DoctorL camping the solo.
And yet Stormy's only a half level down.
Splitting XP.
Stormy's not a perfect player by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing I will always give StormyRays credit for, keeping his cool. You know, I think Stormy is one of the more level-headed players. Hard to kind of put him on tilt. He's just always Stormy. It's like, hey, dude, Stormy. He's a very even-keel player in and out of the game. I think the fact that he's like that outside of the game really helps him inside.
He's really revamped himself mentality and behavioral-wise when it comes to the competitive environment. Before, Words as Weapons might have had a few different words to say towards that, but
I like that.
StormyRays is an entirely different person.
Yeah, and he knows how to rock a bow tie. Better than Hindu Man.
That's risky business there.
No, it's strictly business. They play next against Brochacho's Astral Authority. Make sure to stay tuned for some more SCL action. Earlier today, we saw a 2-0 come out from the guys against each other. And today, we're going to see SoaR versus Elevate.
And SoaR looking to try and finish off. That was pretty slick. That was suave. I'll hand it to you.
I was a fan of that one.
Just had to get the double clarification for yourself, but this already, I would say, like I was talking about it earlier, but SoaR just want to look for the team fights here.
Yeah.
Their team fight is pretty crazy to deal with, and I'm not sure that Elevate, if the Elevate don't find that Habwa ultimate that just completely destroys everybody's health, that's not a fun team fight for them.
And what's also rough about Habwa, which it's, you know, you live by the sword, die by the sword, except sword is tidal wave here. oBoronic, if a team fight happens and oBoronic misses, just go home. You're not going to just go home. It's really rough for Elevate. But then again, if he hits 1 or 2 people, just go win. You win, right? You are just on like the edge of a razor blade here whenever you really go Habwa. Very risky pick, but as we said before, this is one of oBoronic's go-to characters. He's always had the Habwa, and so I think for him it's a little less risky.
I kind of want to see oBoronic pick up the Blink second active on the mid. And already Kaeydan, a little bit of danger. DoctorL looking for it, but being poked out. Oh my god, speaking of poked out, Kaeydan is just destroyed. He's gone.
I told you, that's how Habwa works. Doesn't even need the ult. Hit him with the water hands, just taking out the life of Kaeydan. And that's the power of Habwa, just able to surprise him. But this is the downside of Habwa. Big damage onto him, and big damage out of him. There's again the water cannon coming out of oBoronic. Medieval, oh, you will be missed. 4 kills in total for Elevate. Meanwhile, Delnyy just fighting Zachsy by himself, forces the ultimate out of the Hunter, who's just gonna fire into the wild blue yonder. Nothing of a sure target here. Gold Fury started, and StormyRays gonna be zoned out by Delnyy. This looks like Elevate can secure this one nice and easy, and they will. Gold Fury goes away. The blue squad Elevate on top by about 2,000 gold.
It's the better decision. While you'd normally want to contest that as a solo in Bellona, Stormy's guaranteed dead if he tries to ult into that. So he might as well not expend his own life and look to be an available option for his team to try and defend the Portal Demon should Elevate swing over to it. It doesn't look like that's what they're opting for, but it's always just better to not toss away your life unnecessarily.
Yeah, exactly. I always root for it. I'll never fault you for going for it and dying. StormyRays wasn't able to. Delnyy did a really good job of zoning him out. If Stormy wasn't zoned out by Delnyy, I still would have asked for him to jump in and die. I like that. If you're a solo or a support, go for it, man. On the off chance that you get the Gold Fury thumbs up, bud. Right?
The martyr mentality.
Exactly, right? Like, remember me. I like that idea. But Delnyy just did a fantastic job. Dropping the circle, not letting Stormy really come. If you come to the Gold Fury, you get stunned. And if you don't, well, you don't get to look at the Gold Fury.
And speaking of fantastic jobs, this is a complete 180 from the Oboronic that we saw last game. Constantly trying to hide in the corner and play the defensive with Anubis. The Hawa is a completely different story, although taking a solid chunk of health already. That's not fun.
Look at Kenshin. Nice little block coming out to protect his mid laner. And I think it's twofold. One, this is one of Oboronic's more comfort picks. And maybe we'll get to see that in a moment. He's going to wrap around from the left-hand side. Girdle activated by the guys on SoaR Gaming. They're not grouped up anymore, but still looking for the corridor fight. It's going to be the Habwa. DoctorL's in trouble. Kaeydan takes him down before anyone even reaches there. Kenshin could not get in position to find the ultimate on the jungler. Might be forced to ultimate himself. Oboronic still has an ult for his own name. Looking for the damage out of the water hands. Doing a corner with the 1 and finding the ultimate onto the support. Oboronic takes out StormyRays. He's in trouble though. Kenshin doesn't have another ultimate available for him. Oboronic 25% HP. Now down into the yellow. Still trying to find it out.
And immediately, Kaeydan, he's trying to find the wraparound. He wants the damage. He can't get it.
The knockup. Oboronic finds the water spout and takes down the opposition with it. KeegsMate starts running towards. Realizes he's just dead anyway. Has to find safety underneath the tower. Checo's not going to be able to find the basics. Elevate, win the fight.
If Checo had connected with those basics, that would have been a rip KeegsMate, 100%. And that's kind of the downfall of Neith right there. She's not a hunter you can box with, especially not against somebody like Checo on the Kern. And now Keegs, he wanted the contest, but he's just going to die instead.
Ooh, Neith, great play from KeegsMate. Kind of awkward to say since he dies, but you got to look deeper here. So DoctorL just confirms the easy kill. There's no way Neith is getting out of there. I don't care who's playing that character. He gets hit with the ultimate, and that means he's going to spread the poison because he's going to die with it. Walks away from Kaeydan just far enough. You know you're going to die. Listen, no play saves the Neith there, so that's the best play possible.
And I am just loving this Serqet pick for DoctorL so much more than before.
Oh, the dance! The dance! Oh. Oboronic finds it! One more hit'll do it, but his age is out. Can't turn around, but he's got help from the jungle. I love the way Oboronic played that. He knew exactly the range of the Chang'e. Barra backstep to get away from it. Finds the knockup, finds the water hands. Oboronic knows this character, and I think that's when I personally have the most fun watching Smite, when somebody's playing a character that they have 7,000 worshippers on, they know everything about it. Man, I'm sorry, I like it. Don't make that face at me.
That last little bit of the Habwa ultimate, I was so sure that for a moment he had just completely missed, and it was going to be that turnaround scenario that you see whenever he tries to commit all the way. That's what happens to every Habwa player. You try to commit, it doesn't work out, and then you just get completely face pummeled for it. But for Oboronic, he's able to get away. He does have to expend his beads, but both the Kaeydan's actives are down, and he is a primary target, candidate number 1 all the way for DoctorL on the Serqet.
Yeah, and Habwa did go for that blink that you were talking about. Now, why would you give blink to an already, very susceptible to gank, to a character that's very dangerous to play, but it's the turnaround potential. You want to get behind the enemy.
Blink means that you don't have to initiate with your ultimate. And having your ultimate for the escape as well as the damaging factor is probably one of the most important parts about playing Habwa.
Yeah, you really get to blink behind the team fight and ult towards your team instead of ulting away from your team and just dying after the fact.
You can also just completely destroy somebody with the quick blink in water spout ultimate. I mean, there's nothing wrong with blinking in and then expending the ultimate right away. It's just, it's the safer choice as long as you're not out of position with it.
Exactly, and that's the key, is that you're putting yourself out of position with the blink to bring yourself back into position with the ultimate. That's really the key there that we're trying to drive home. And You know, of course, Habwa's going to do more damage if he's able to, like, cast multiple spells in a row. But look at the damage he's already able to do. That's a support. With the non-damaging ability. I mean, Water Spout isn't supposed to do a lot of damage. It's all about the water cannon and the ultimate. But that's the downside of Habwa. As much as he deals damage out, he brings it in and dives to the hand of Zachsy. KeegsMate gets one as well here on the left side near the gold tree. And that one is going to be trouble for Elevate, losing one of their first team fights. Kenshin saving himself just to die again. 6-7. SoaR Gaming win that team fight. Unfortunately for them and their fans, still trailing.
Kenshin wasn't even able to get his ultimate off onto oBoronic. That's how fast oBoronic died to the Neith ultimate, the girdle pop by Medieval with the rest of his team's damage. And now SoaR have their eyes set entirely on the Fire Giant. And if they're able to secure FG, this could be that little bit of a boost that they need to put this game not only even, but in their favor.
10% on the FG. Here comes Checo and DoctorL trying to stop something. Kenshin's here too. DoctorL goes for it. Can't find the fire. They do find it. There it is. Great play by DoctorL to take away the Fire Giant. That was SoaR's moment, Taco, and they just drop it.
And sure, only one member on the side of Elevate is actually able to have that Fire Giant, but it's the Habwa. The guy who was already dealing insane amounts of damage is now the guy with the Fire Giant. And on top of that, SoaR just lost FG.
Yeah.
That was their comeback.
That really was their comeback. That was going to be the way they fight into this one and deal extra damage. And see ya. See ya.
What?
Just, I mean, so the beauty of Habwa is look right now at Zachsy and tell me what's odd here.
You can't against that.
That's the
thing. You have to preemptively beads it. You have to preemptively beads the water spout, but in a one-on-one scenario, I can't say that Zachsy really did anything wrong there other than being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He got he-mode!
And it was on his side of the map.
He just got he-mode!
That's not his side of the map anymore.
He got he-mode! I mean, it just happens! That's what makes he-mode so much fun to watch, because you sit there and there is probably one edge case I'm going to get tweeted at. Every other scenario, if you die with your actives up, with your relics up, I'm allowed to make fun of you. But when you die with your relics up because that happens to you, oh well. Like, just see ya. What do you do? It's
this that's probably one of the most frustrating aspects too of being a hunter player is that when Habwa gets to this stage of the game, it's Zachsy wants to be the hyper carry. But how are you going to hyper carry as Ram when you're literally dying from 2 abilities and you can't even Aegis one of them because knockups are the best CC in the game?
It's Emo. I apologize. I just really enjoy good Habwa play. It's just really fun for me to watch. I mentioned before, you know, when a player knows a character inside and out like oBoronic does Habwa, it's really fun to see. Not that we saw that in the last play. He just hit 2 abilities and crushed somebody. But Habwa at the end, it's fun to watch the intricacies early on. And now when Habwa is here, he is your quintessential mage, a glass cannon. We saw how quickly he died earlier, but then he can just turn around and do that to Zachsy as well. So I think it makes for a very exciting match. Blink in from DoctorL, looking for the 1v1. Finds Zigzag, chases out the beads of Zachsy. Great play.
He doesn't even care really about aggressing any further. He doesn't need to. He got the beads, and that's probably the most important aspect because that's what was going to prevent him from getting knocked up by the Habwa if his reaction time is fast enough.
And it's also, I mean, you have to preemptively beads that. It's like Aegising a Bacchus Intoxicate, right? You like go for it, and then more than half the time, you just kind of like, well, I wasted my Aegis. Delnyy not wasting time here. Jumps right to the backhand side. SoaR Gaming respond by popping the girdle. There's Medieval's ultimate to really help out his teammate. Jumping forward. Kaeydan takes out oBoronic. Big play for SoaR Gaming. But even without the mid lane mage, Elevate, bringing the pain.
And StormyRays getting out with just a sliver of HP. That is actually so massive for SoaR that Stormy and everybody on their team was able to survive. DoctorL, however, is trying to make sure that somebody else is going to be falling.
Yeah, he wants to see SoaR step up too far. It's KeegsMate. There's the kiss. Misses the dash attack. Has to jump away. Great jump from KeegsMate. We'll ride with Zachsy. He has 1, misses 2, and now he's got to do it with his own hands. We'll turn around and let Medieval chase that one. Stun is good, but he's a Guardian. Can he take this fight?
But it is a Fafnir. He just didn't have the mana available for any sort of follow-up, and nobody else from SoaR bothered going that way either because they just wanted to take away this T1 tower
Elevate are letting SoaR back into this game. This is the second time they're letting SoaR back into this game. First was when SoaR stole the Fire Giant, and Elevate said, okay, that was nice, but we're gonna kill you again. Our bad. Now SoaR, this is the second time they're gonna be fighting to this one. Elevate need to stop this right now.
Elevate need to be a little bit more careful as well. oBoronic, he's been on fire this game with this Hobwop pick, but you shouldn't be inside the T2 tower.
Right, yeah, kind of know where you're going, play your lead, but don't get played. There's going to be Delnyy trying to control 3 separate members. They knock him on the right side. Love the target selection coming out from oBoronic. Water cannon up, doesn't wait for it, hits him with the ultimate. Checo gets the kill. DoctorL gets the second. oBoronic gets the third. Elevate up 11-9, invading the enemy jungle, and now going to look for the Gold Fury.
And that is what Elevate want to do every single time without fail. oBoronic, he's there. He's with his team, though,
yeah.
And his team is able to support him, which is exactly what he needs. Gold Fury going the way of Elevate, only extending their gold lead. That's a little bit more than 7K in the bank for Elevate, and right now, this game is heavily in their favor.
And, you know, we keep talking about saving oBoronic, but, I mean, Kenshin's abduct. So you're getting hit by the water cannon. Kenshin grabs you. Water cannon will be up before you're out of the claws. A second time. That's 60% of your health.
3 ultimates on Hobwa. I mean, he's that for a reason, especially once you hit the late game stride, and that's exactly where oBoronic already is. He's got pen boots, he's got the Dynasty Plate Helm, he opted for the Divine Ruin, which I actually really respect this decision because I feel like a lot of people can kind of underestimate the healing that a Chang'e is still able to exert, even without having any additional healing items added on.
SoaR Gaming able to disrupt Elevate's shot at the Fire Giant, just not enough damage being dished out onto the target itself, so SoaR is able to really stop Elevate from doing that. But, I mean, you know, you're kind of making one guy pull over when there's a whole caravan behind him, so Elevate's still significantly in the lead by about 8,000 gold, give or take. And Checo's just going to farm up even more, so there it is, 7.9. Very, very close to where I was saying. I was close.
The best hope for SoaR right now, though, is to look for a fight around that Fire Giant pit because they want the chaos of the environment to be a huge factor. That way they can look for the pig onto oBoronic. If they manage to Neith ult him into the Chang'e ult, if the team, especially if the team's hopefully stacking up against each other because they're all trying to stay grouped right now for Elevate. So if Kaeydan's able to find a massive Chang'e ultimate, that could completely sway the direction that things are headed.
Trouble for Zachsy. He gets dashed on by 2 players. DoctorL covering the option. Michael Checo takes him out nice and easy and close. It's a dozen here for Elevate, folks. 23.5 minutes in, leading SoaR Gaming by 3 kills and up by about 9,000 gold. Fantastic play from Elevate. Nice to see a team bounce back from the way that they got handled in game number 1.
All that Checo wants to do, however, is split push this dual lane side, and with Zachsy being dead for another 25 seconds, there's really not much that SoaR can do about it, because if SoaR tries to rotate to stop that tower push, I mean, they're just going to lose the Portal Demon, and then Checo just happily backs away. They're trying to contest it. They're just hoping that Zachsy's up in time for that Phoenix defense, but it doesn't look like Checo's going to opt for it just yet.
The impossible decision. It's a term usually used in card games, but it's perfectly applied here. Stop me split pushing, and I get the Portal Demon. Stop my Portal Demon, and maybe I even get a Phoenix, right? It's really choose your poison. I love what Elevate have done here to split the map. Stormy going to fall down to, well, everybody. Delnyy getting credit for the last hit right there, and Checo still on the left side of the map.
He's just doing whatever he wants.
That's the, I mean,
2 people tried to contest him, and they were unable to catch him out. Like, he just drops the Wild Hunt and escapes happily.
Portal Demon still not taken. Elevate could have got the Portal Demon. They're trying to fight here a little bit too much, I think, Taco.
They want more picks. I think that they want the picks as like that safety net, because 2 picks is a guaranteed FG, I would say, for Elevate, especially considering that they have the secure from oBoronic. And I think that's probably one of the bigger differences between these 2 teams as well. Keegs on that Zeus, absolutely beautiful gameplay. Keegs on Neith, while he hasn't necessarily done anything wrong, and speaking of doing anything wrong, SoaR with the steal.
Nice steal. Kaeydan comes in, takes what is his. Delnyy trying to zone against everybody. The girl's popped, but look at that damage going back thanks to the thorns from Delnyy. Interesting pickup coming out from the short laner. oBoronic gets stunned out and stopped in his tracks. That would have been definitely a kill. Now oBoronic has to look towards the left side for it instead. DoctorL jumping forward. KeegsMate fires through the wall, not going to find anything, but I appreciate the try.
But SoaR stealing away that portal demon is pretty massive, because now it means that when Elevate back all the way, SoaR going to be there already. And Zachsy, this is a little bit risky.
Yeah.
He's by himself. And now his team's there, but it's still not favorable for the Hunter to frontline.
The last time we saw Zachsy do that, he got knocked up and hit with a water cannon to go back to base the hard way. Delnyy again walking into 4. Zoning or just over-aggressive?
I think that it's just Delnyy being able to do whatever he wants to do because he's in Osiris, and a level 19 Osiris at that.
I like the Witchblade pickup a lot. Anytime I see double hunters, I kind of like, yay, Witchblade. But also, look at everything else that the Witchblade is going to interact with. We got 2 hunters, a Chang'e, even Bellona, right? I'm a huge fan of the Witchblade.
I absolutely love this play by SoaR, trying to bait it out. They know that Delny's under half HP. They want to try and find the pick. I don't think that SoaR are trying to commit onto this Fire Giant at all.
Nah, they're looking for the fight. I don't know if they realized that Elevate had 2 players back to base initially, but they certainly do now. Here comes Checo and oBoronic, the 2 harder of the carries for Elevate here. Big ultimate from oBoronic, hits 2 players, but that's the downside. Puts him behind enemy lines and gets taken out by Zachsy. Kenshin low, Delnyy low, and the Ram looking to bring him to 0. That'll do it. Zachsy puts number 11 on the board for him and his team. SoaR Gaming coming each and every play, bringing them closer to tying things up with Elevate.
I've seen this before. They need to secure this Fire Giant if SoaR want any shot at coming back into this game. They've already done an excellent job taking away oBoronic and Kenshin, but can they secure it? That is the real question. DoctorL being a nuisance yet again, and it seems as though SoaR are going to be able to pick this up.
Oh, look at the damage on Checo, taking out StormyRays, taking out the Fire Giant is SoaR Gaming, despite Michael Checo's best interests. Delnyy now trying to control whatever he can. There's players low, and if Elevate can get these picks, it's going to be a strong look, just taking more Fire Giant off of the map.
And right now, Kaeydan's just trying to do the only thing he can do, and that is peel for Zachsy. At least their 3 carries still have this Fire Giant buff available. So combining that with the front line of StormyRays and Medieval, once they spawn, it'll still be good looks for SoaR in the long run.
DoctorL just waiting. The Serqet has been very patient throughout this game, and a lot of those kills have come from sort of the surprise okie doke around the corner, right? We saw one from oBoronic exactly in that way. A couple of shots out of DoctorL have come from, just gonna sit here. Somebody walks around, pop, I get you with the ult, and then you kind of just walk around until you die. So I like that DoctorL has been very patient. However, his team, not as patient. oBoronic has been very aggressive right there, going for it. And a great Aegis saves the life of Zachsy. But Checo, with the sustained DPS, brings him down, kill number 5.
And that is the Blink Habwa and the strength behind it. Now oBoronic, even after having missed his ultimate onto Zachsy due to the immunity from the Aegis, it was well played by Zachsy, but just a little bit too far forward without his team. At this point, there's so many different options for Elevate to choose to aggress into SoaR. You can't afford to be by yourself anymore.
And Michael Checo's also just swinging like a truck. I mean, that's a big deal. He's a fully farmed hunter with a Fatalis and a Frostbound hammer.
Frostalis.
You're not going anywhere. You're just not going anywhere. Why would you do that? That's a rude build. Like, that build is just rude. He's slowing you down, he's faster than you, and he has a Habwa.
Well, depending on the utilization of his first ability as well, he also has the slow in his kit already. So I actually think that, considering the position that Elevate are in right now, I can respect the Frostalis and the Frostbound especially, because all that Elevate wants is set up for oBoronic. And I mean, Checo's player damage is nothing to scoff at.
Well, also, Checo, so basically, yeah, your champion of the seasons, or the first ability, the cycle, right? It gives you penetration, it gives you extra damage, and the whole 9 yards, right? We all know that. He doesn't have to use the slow. He can just sit in summer stance and just whap, 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 because he has to Frostalis items, so.
He also has the peel. He has peel for himself from Medieval. He has peel for himself from Kaeydan, from the Bellona, and it's just incredibly difficult, especially once he gets them into melee range. That also activates his passive, which deals even more damage.
And Checo is a player that has really kept that in mind. That's one of those passives that players can kind of, I don't want to say forget about, but it's risk versus reward. Checo is always looking for the extra damage out of the melee range on this character. I really like the way Michael Checo has shown us Cernunnos.
Respect the SoaR though, for they continuously keep biting back at Elevate and taking what little opportunities they're able to find after securing the kills onto oBoronic.
SoaR down 12,000 gold, and I think they 100% have a chance in this one. oBoronic tries the ultimate on the Hunter and gets taken down after the fact. Typical Habwa play. Zachsy chase in the air. Here's help from everybody else. It's a 4-on-4 as Medieval falls down. It's a 4-on-5. It's now a 4-on-2. Kaeydan and Zachsy, the only ones left. Elevate with a fantastic team fight. Kaeydan able to literally dance away from the rest of the unit of Elevate as the blue team gonna go slink back into the jungle, steal the speed buff first, and then look towards the portal demon.
If the creep wave for Elevate had been a little bit more pushed up rather than at their own tower line, I think that Elevate might have also potentially looked for that T2 tower after the portal demon or even before, but securing portal demon's already a strong enough look for the team, considering that Fire Giant will be spawning here pretty soon. Yeah,
the players are going to be able to go back, spend whatever money they want to spend, and then just pop right back into it. You can see all of Elevate appearing near that Fire Giant push. I'm going to head towards the mid lane, it looks like. I want to push this lane up and perhaps look for just a strong siege.
The issue for SoaR is, while they've been able to punish oBoronic the times that he's put himself out of position, they don't really have the burst damage that is required to take out the Habwa factor, because oBoronic, sure, he's like blinking in, he's messing up a couple of times with it, but without that mage available, Keegs just hasn't been as much of a factor on this Neith as he was on the Zeus last game.
Neith team fight, feel free to disagree. Neith team fight requires setup. You need those weaves on the ground, otherwise, hooray, you got a root. That's all you really have. Unravel's a strong and oftentimes under-respected ability. Unravel can really slow down the attack speed out of play. But without a weave on the ground, if you're just firing a spirit arrow, it's just not a great teamfight character.
I think the draft is still very strong from SoaR, even with this Neith. I just don't think that the character is suited for Keegs.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't feel as though...
Where did he go?
Oh, wow.
Michael Checo crit him, doesn't have any crit, he just got deleted. Big damage coming out on the guys of Elevate. Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the goodbye Zachsy.
Get ready.
Any hopes you might have had.
Yeah, this one's going the way of Elevate. 21, 22, 23 kills in total for Elevate. They're going to clean up SoaR Gaming, and I think they just might push in the middle.
They don't even need the Fire Giant. Like,
no.
There's no reason for them to waste their time with the FG. Medieval being the only member left standing on the side of SoaR, and his ultimate's already been burned. He backs, and there's just nothing he can do.
Man, sometimes Smite comes at you. I almost want to apologize. That ending team fight, we kind of just went, where'd he go? Oh my god! But that was the case.
It just scales.
One player gets deleted, and then oBoronic hits 2 with the water spout on the back line. And if you get hit by a water spout at 31 minutes, you're probably dead, whether it's from the Habwa or otherwise. And that was game. Wow.
Beautiful blink by oBoronic. I mean, we saw circumstances where it didn't play out very well for him, and then we saw the ones where it did, and that's exactly what happened. But oBoronic wasn't the only member dealing massive amounts of damage on that team. We saw the in-hands from Checo there, able to secure, I think, what started off that team fight especially, because Checo was just chunking.
Yeah, here's the early rotation. That was a really fun kill to watch. Offensive aggression coming out again from oBoronic. And here, this is all DoctorL, but okay, Michael Checo, we'll give you the basic. DoctorL really covering the option there on the backside. And here's Checo trying to disrupt the Fire Giant here about midway through the game, 27 minutes.
Checo did exactly what he needed to do in the entire game. He just had the follow-up damage. That's all his team was requiring from him, was that follow-up potential, and he gave it. I mean, just look at that. Kaeydan's just gone, and because of that, oBoronic's like, yo, I'm going in.
He's just so annoying with it. Oh, this is the game-winning team fight right here, 32 minutes, and just look at it. I mean, 2 people get knocked up by a Habwa, and Michael Checo's just like, okay, I got basics. I can handle this. 23 kills in total above SoaR's 12. I mean, we mentioned before, Habwa lives on the razor's edge. He either gets farmed for a zillion or he farms Ryu for a zillion. And that's exactly what we saw. Let's take a look at the Waterman himself. Habwa, one of my favorite characters. He's just so explosive.
And Explosive was definitely the story for oBoronic here. Just Keegs didn't even stand a chance. Kenshin dropping the Khepri res. I mean, can't go wrong with that. Just make sure that he lives. That's all oBoronic had to do was survive, or even if it wasn't surviving, just damage, and he did it.
There, oBoronic misses a water spout. That looks like it's trouble for him. He's getting hit by the hunter. Oh, surprise. He's just going to turn around, speed everyone up, and then water spout, water hands, what are you doing?
Dude, no, it's not the same as earlier. I'm not allowing this any longer, okay?
Agro's clapping off stage.
No, okay, Dadgro can just stay over there, okay? This is not pun central yet. And right now, it was looking like one giant pun, though, for oBoronic. Like, you completely just farmed the enemy team. He really did just farm them.
You tried.
No, I didn't want to transition it too poorly, and then I just kept looking at Agro. I felt the pressure. I felt the pressure from that. Like, the dad jokes just weren't coming. Like,
SoaR certainly felt the pressure from Elevate in game number 2. oBoronic bringing his signature Habwa to the party here. Winds up being a split down the middle for our middle game of the day. Earlier on, we saw Obey Alliance take 2-0 above Starboys, and soon we'll see Elbro Chacho and Astral Authority take on Strictly Business. Any predictions for that one?
I would probably have to favor Chacho and the boys.
Yeah, I mean, they look great at LAN. We'll see if they can continue that online as well. Strictly Business will be a strong team, but Astral Authority, I think, have really solidified themselves as the team to beat this split.
I certainly so. All very strong members, all very experienced members as well.
Yeah, it's fun stuff right there. We're going to head on to our third match of the day. Stay tuned for some more SCL action here on hi-rez TV.
Check it, every day we're getting it. Hey, check it, put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo. I'm a chaser, face up. Now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye, ego, I'ma take her, shake her. Yeah, she was a born shaker. She shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you stabbed me in the back. Something like a rose when we came out there. We settle facts like Da Vinci. I'm breaking codes, so breaking backs. Come on, get your ass up if you're slipping. Put another smile like it was the last Christmas. Yeah.
Put your hands in the air, we'll be alright.
That's right.
You keep messing up my mind, but I love your style. And I'm loving your lips like a candy bar. I ain't kidding, I just wanna have ya. Ain't kidding, I just gotta have ya. Girl, you like an uncut diamond. Every time when you put your smile on, really wanna get to know you better. Loving every minute we're together. A king, a queen to be. If I pop the question on my knees, cause you kill a competition. Got a body divine with a vision.